Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I just returned from my trip to England, still at my dad's house though, and this is going to be the start of another writing vlog. I don't know how much writing I will actually do in this vlog, but we are beginning a new step of the process with my manuscript nicknamed Project Mayfair. Starting Friday, I'm going to be sending the manuscript out to beta readers, which is very, very exciting. Also kind of scary because I am opening myself up to potential criticism, but I'm also very excited. I'm hoping people will like the story. And regardless, I'm hoping to get some really helpful feedback to make the story better, make it the best that it can be. I have drafted an email to send out to all the people who applied to be my beta reader. I haven't sent it yet because I'm kind of scared. I've reread the email at least 3 times to make sure that it's good, and I still haven't sent it yet, so I think I need to bite the bullet and just send the email. Basically, it's an email explaining they've been chosen. They can let me know if they're no longer interested and I'll take them off the list. And then I'm also explaining the deadlines that I have and how the Google Docs format is going to work. The last time we spoke, I believe I said I had 6 or 7 beta reader applications and I wasn't expecting to get any more. However, I am thrilled to tell you that currently I have 12 potential beta readers lined up, which is exactly what I wanted. I was hoping for 10 to 15, and I had sort of resigned myself to the fact that I wasn't going to get that many, and now I did. So, have patience. Don't freak out in the first 24 hours like I did. Good things come to those who wait. And now I have the amount of beta readers that I was hoping for. This way, if some people end up not being able to beta read or have changed their minds, I'm still going to have a decent sample size, So I'm very happy. I'm very happy with how things worked out. Basically, while I was in England, one person from my in-person writing group reached out to say they would be a beta reader, so I added that person to my list. And then in one of the beta reader groups on Goodreads that I posted in, somebody had responded to my thread expressing interest. And the good thing about that was, since somebody posted a new reply, my post went back to the top of the feed, and I think that helped to get some new eyes on it. So multiple people filled out the application that same day. That's why I'm kind of creating a correlation between the two. I think that person commenting and bringing the post back to the top of the feed, helped me get a couple other applications as well. So I think that contributed to me getting these new applications. But I am very, very happy about that. I was nervous. I was thinking nobody else was going to fill it out, and I'm glad that now I have 12 potential betas lined up for this process. Very exciting. So the next thing is I just need to send them the email welcoming them, expressing my gratitude, and laying out the process that we're going to embark on together in the next month or so. Yeah, I'm really nervous to send the email, but I'm excited. But I'm also nervous. I hope that the email sounds good, that it comes off with a tone that I want it to, because I am giving them instructions and telling them I need this by this date, but I still want it to come across as really, friendly and grateful and not too bossy. At the same time, I also do have to be firm with expectations because obviously this is my manuscript and the feedback needs to be helpful for me and my story, but at the same time also I want them to know how much I appreciate them, so I keep nitpicking the wording of the email, but I think I just need to bite the bullet and send it. I read it 3 or 4 times. I think I just need to send the email. I read it over again, and I think I just need to send it. Okay, it's sending to 12 people. All right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hit send. 1, 2, 3. I sent it. Okay. There we go. Sent the email to the beta readers. we'll wait to hear back. Maybe some people will have changed their mind, but I think since we now have 12 people, that's a pretty good size. So even if we lose some, we should still be good. I don't know why I'm saying we, like you're involved in this too, but whatever. Hello, hello, hello. So it is 10:30 on Friday, May 5th, and I just sent out the first 13 chapters to my beta readers, which is super exciting. Also a little bit scary because, there is the chance, like, what if they don't like it? But I'm pretty happy with the first 13 chapters, I think, so I'm excited to hear what they have to say. I'm hoping the beginning will be intriguing enough to hook them in. I mean, I think it's good, but I am a little nervous about that because it is kind of nerve-wracking to think about, like, if I potentially send this to agents and publishers, the slush pile, as it's called, the beginning of your novel has to be really good because agents and publishers get so many manuscripts. If it doesn't hook them at the beginning, they just toss it to the side. So hopefully they'll tell me that they were engaged in the beginning. I may have to change the opening chapter if that's not the case. But like I said before, all in all, I am really happy with the direction the manuscript is going. And I can't think of any major things I want to change about it at this point. So I am optimistic, though I am also like, listen, I'm not expecting the beta readers to tell me that the manuscript is perfect. Like, that's not a realistic expectation. And I do want them to be honest. So even if they give me feedback that's not overwhelmingly positive, that is still valuable. It's good to get outside perspectives because I, as the writer, know what I meant. So it's good to get an outside perspective and know, like, okay, is the writing actually clear? Is it coming across the way that I hoped it would? The other thing I wanted to update you all on is, like I said, I had 12 people fill out the beta reader survey, and I sent those 12 people an email with instructions for the beta reader process and the due dates. Out of those 12 people, one person asked to be removed from the list, so that's 11. And then out of those 11 people, all but 2 responded to my email telling me they read it and they were still interested. 2 people did not respond to my email, and it did not respond to the follow-up email I sent either. After a few days, there were a bunch of people who still hadn't confirmed they received the email, so those people, I sent them a follow-up, like, hey, can you just let me know that you received this and you're still interested? So after I sent that follow-up, 2 people still did not respond. I decided I would still send them section 1 anyway, just in case, maybe they're having a very busy week or they haven't been able to check their email, something like that. But that's the good thing about sending your manuscript out in sections. If those 2 people actually just have ghosted me and bailed, then they'll only have the first section. It's not like I have sent them my entire manuscript for them to read. So I figure there's no harm in sending them the first section, and if they don't read it, don't send the survey in, then they just won't get any follow-up communication from me, but at least I gave them a fair chance. So it's out there, it's in their hands now, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping for everyone to submit their surveys 7 days from now, but I will give people an extension if that's something they need. So I'm currently in the car waiting for my dad. I'm supposed to be at work right now, so hopefully he doesn't take that long, but he needs me to drive him home. Anyways, my update is having people read your book is very, very stressful. Like, I just want them to like it. And one of my beta readers, she told me when she filled out the survey that she is actually a professional editor, and usually she doesn't beta read for free, but the premise of my book sounded interesting, so she was willing to do it. And she is giving me so many freaking line edits, you guys. Just comment after comment with line edits, being like, you don't need this dash here, or this part's redundant. And, I'm not knocking her, because who am I to complain about receiving a free line edit from a professional editor? But it does make me nervous. I'm like, but do you like it though? Or do you think I suck? I just want someone to comment like, oh my god, this is so good. So it's really stressful, you know? Like I want approval. But you know, and like let's be real. If I actually get a literary agent and I actually get a professional editor and I get published, they're gonna give me so much feedback. They're probably gonna tell me to change a shit ton. So I need to just get used to it. But I, as a person, like, even though I know it's normal to get criticism, I don't like it. I think it's just the perfectionist in me. Like, I was the person in school who I would be upset if I got a B plus. So I just want everyone to like me. Yeah. Anyways, it's really nerve wracking. Bye. Actually, I take that back. I wanted to say one more thing. I will say I am fully aware that I am an M dash abuser. I don't know why, but I just freaking love dashes. I use a lot of dashes. I remember in high school I got an essay and my teacher said I would have given you an A plus if it were not for your excessive fondness for dashes. Oh, he's here. Hello, I am sitting on the floor because I don't want you to see the absurd amount of laundry I have to put away after getting back from my vacation. But quick update, so far one person submitted the Section 1 survey, which is really good. They gave some good feedback. I think the person just like read the entire section in one night because I only sent it out on Friday, and based on their comments, I think they just stayed up really late to read it, which is good, I guess. I guess that means they were evidently enjoying it. I am once again overthinking a little bit because a lot of the people have not left any comments on the Google Doc. So I'm starting to get a little worried, being like, oh my God, did they read it? Did they not get my email? Maybe they're abandoning me. But I think that's just me being anxious. Maybe they haven't started it yet because they're really fast readers. Maybe later in the week they'll reach out to me saying, hey, I need more time. Is that okay? Or maybe they're reading it and they just don't want to comment. Like, that's also a possibility. So I'm just trying not to overthink it too much, though overthinking is kind of my thing. I also thought I would mention something which is not directly related to my beta reading, but when I got home, I'm home by the way, I just realized I never mentioned that, but you probably figured that out by now. There was a magazine from the Mystery Writers of America waiting for me. This cover is actually really cute. It's meant to look like the Yellow Pages, and it has the names of many different famous literary detectives, like, you know, Nancy Drew, Adam Daglish from the P.D. James series, the Hardy Boys, Sherlock Holmes, lots of different famous fictional detectives. But at the very back, I saw this. And this is an ad for the Minotaur Books and Mystery Writers of America first crime novel competition. This is a competition that these two organizations are running between now and December, and the winner receives a publishing contract from Minotaur Books with a $10,000 advance. That's really interesting to me. So I thought I would just mention it because when I saw that, my interest was piqued. And you know, submissions will be accepted now, between now and December 15th of this year. So my hope is to be able to query agents in the coming months. Like, I would like to be able to query agents like by August-ish, I think. But if by December I do not have a literary agent, but I do have a complete and polished manuscript, I might submit to the competition, you know, just to see what do I have to lose. Odds are I probably wouldn't win, just because I'm sure many, many people are going to submit to the competition. But, you know, depending on how things go, I might, you know, just shoot my shot, see if I can win the competition. Hello, it's me. It's Friday. I just finished working. My hair is a mess. I have a big zit on my chin. It's not a look, I know. But Today is Friday, May 12th, which means the beta readers should be done with section 1 by now. Now, a little update. So I think I said I had 12 people that I emailed. One person asked to be removed. There were 2 people who didn't respond at all. And I said, I don't think they're still in, but I'm going to send them section 1 anyway. Yeah, neither of them interacted with section 1, sent me a survey, so I'm just, giving up on them. But, I wanted to give them a chance in case maybe they were still really interested and just didn't respond to my email or were busy or whatever. But yeah, so they're not they're not taking part in this. Then there's one person who I think only just started reading today. Today was the first time I saw comments from her on the document. But, if she's actually still interested in reading it and she, hits me up next week for section 2, I'll probably still give it to her because I'm a big softie. She did tell me that she was busy at the moment, so I guess she just has her stuff going on and she's a little behind, which is okay, I'm a big softie, so, it's okay. Then everybody else read it, filled out the survey, or told me that they needed an extension. So we're all good with that. And the survey results that I got so far have been helpful. There were some people where I was like, can you tell me a little bit more, give me a little more to work with? But they all brought up some really good points, and it's been interesting to see their theories about where they think the mystery is going. Some people are totally wrong, and some people actually noticed some good details, and I'm impressed that they were engaged enough to actually notice these things, and you can tell they're really trying to actually put a lot of thought into this and try to solve it, which is really appreciated. On the survey, I asked people to rate on a scale of 1 to 5 how much they enjoyed section 1 and how excited they are for the next section. One person gave it a 3, and everybody else gave it a 4. I believe if you do the math, that means that the average rating for this section is a 3.8 out of 5, which is pretty good, I mean, if this was a Goodreads rating, I would consider that a pretty decent rating, In my opinion, books that have ratings from 3.75 to 3.99, that to me is a good rating. If it's higher than 3.99, that's when I'm like, shit, this book must be really good. And if it's 3.6, that's when I start to be okay, I'm a little nervous. And if it's under 3.5, that's when I'm like, maybe I don't want to read this book. So, a 3.8, hey, I'll take that. That's pretty damn good, especially considering this is not a polished final version yet, and there's still edits that need to be made. Several people brought up that the first chapter was not their favorite. They either said flat out, I didn't really like it, or yeah, it was okay, but my engagement got much higher in the later chapters. Chapter 1 was fine, but I thought all the chapters after that were better than chapter 1. And I kind of agree with them, because when I wrote chapter 1, I was still kind of figuring out where exactly the story was going, and I was trying to incorporate some of the writing advice from Save the Cat on where to start your story. I can talk about that in another video if you would like. So I feel like chapter 1, it does some things well, but if I'm really thinking about their feedback and pondering it, I don't think chapter 1 needs to be there. I think the story can have the exact same effect without chapter 1. If we just got rid of chapter 1 and put some components from chapter 1 into chapter 2, I think the story does not suffer at all by doing that. My only concern with that is chapter 2 strong enough as a start to a story? If people read chapter 2 as chapter 1, like if what is now chapter 2 became chapter 1, would it be a strong enough opening scene, or do I need to create a new scene to open the book? I will probably ask the beta readers about that for their thoughts, because like I said, I see no reason why chapter 2 can't just become chapter 1, and parts of chapter 1 just get repurposed in chapter 2. But I want to make sure that the intro chapter is really intriguing and really strong. I am nervous that if I query agents and they ask for me to send the first 3 chapters, that the first 3 chapters might be just too many character introductions. I do think there's intrigue in them as well, but I'm worried, like, will they be exciting enough to hold an agent's interest? I don't know. That's the thing that I'm a little concerned about, but I will ask them for their thoughts on that if they're willing to share them. Now, the one thing about all of the surveys that makes me so happy is everyone really likes my 2 main characters. Some people prefer one over the other, which is normal, but everybody really likes them and likes the dynamic that I've introduced for them, and that makes me so happy. Another one of the questions I asked on the survey was to name your favorite characters in the book as well as your least favorite characters. And everybody had different responses to who is their favorite character. One person named like 7 characters as being their favorite. And I love that, because if every person has their own personal favorite, that in my mind means that all of the characters are very strong and will appeal to different types of readers. So I'm so happy with the feedback I'm getting on the characters that I've created. It seems like all the people who I meant to be likable are very likable, and the people who I meant to be not likable are successful at being unlikable. I'm really happy with the feedback in that regard, and I think this is a sign that I did a really good job with the characterization. The other things I'm going to work on in the next version is explaining more the scenes and how characters are positioned in the scenes, because a couple people told me there were times where they were a little confused about where people were standing or having a hard time visualizing the scene in their mind. I did notice in one of my drafts while I was writing this that I really did not describe architecture or room design very much at all. So I tried to add a little bit more of that in one of my earlier drafts. I think that's not something that I'm very good at, because I can visualize it in my mind, but as someone who doesn't know a lot about architecture or interior decorating, I don't really know the vocabulary for that. Also, I think sometimes maybe I just didn't describe how characters were positioned in relation to each other as well as I could have, because obviously in my mind I knew where they were. So that's another thing I'm going to be more mindful about in the future drafts. So now I'm going to send out section 2 and the survey to my beta readers and see what they think. So far, some really good feedback. They've told me things that they think I do very well and some things that they think could be improved. And I have taken their suggestions to heart. I think that's also going to be where I end this vlog, because looking at the clips that I already have, it's a good length. So I think I will just cut it here and then start another vlog sometime next week. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a dazzling rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.